Have you already watched the first episode of The Last of Us on HBO? Well, I'm telling you that it's really worth it. As always, every 3 days we sum up every news from the gaming industry and more, and today definitely we should talk about the launch of The Last of Us. So we all know how anticipated this season was and how this whole thing interested many people, even those who played the games and those who are new to this franchise. And it wasn't only anticipated because of the reason it's an adaptation of a really phenomenal game, people were simply afraid of how this adaptation would look like, considering what happens to Witcher or any other adaptations of popular franchises. Basically, from my experience, I can tell you that this is really great. As it had been rumored before, it was supposed to make differences in the story, and it actually did, but it didn't change the narrative or the story or the plotline a lot, it just expanded it and enhanced it. The prologue got new things added that actually told us more about the story of Sarah and Joel and life during quarantine, as it was actually expected to happen before the launch. Looking at Rotten Tomatoes, the scores are really crazy, from the critics and also from the audience too. So this info might engender a joy in some people, but definitely it's not a great news. The French developer Ubisoft faces major problems, and it seems like there is some kind of a really big problems inside the studio, and it even got to the point where there are leaked emails of the CEO who actually asks his employees to help him save the company. Today, more than ever, I need your full energy and commitment to ensure we get back on the path to success. I am also asking that each of you be especially careful and strategic with your spending and initiatives to ensure we are being as efficient and lean as possible. On one hand, Ubisoft kind of deserves that, but on the other hand, I really expect the Avatar game, Next Assassins, or the rumored Star Wars game to actually launch and, well, be some kind of a playable piece of a production. Because as we know, if the studio is indeed in some problems and issues, the games will likely to have them. Let's just hope that Ubisoft won't cancel those mentioned games, because they actually cancelled 3 unannounced games in addition to the 4 that were previously cancelled last year. So yeah, that's pretty much a lot. Sticking to the Ubi, there is a little more information coming out about Assassin's Creed Mirage. This game, as we know, is about to be back to the roots to the original games of Assassin's franchise. However, some of the explanations that the developers give us are actually quite unbelievable. They explain that today's games are just too big, and they know that those games are just getting too tiresome. They want to shrink this game in size and definitely make it more similar to Assassin's Creed 2 trilogy, which is understandable because amongst fans, we started hearing the desire for a character-driven story focused on the core pillars of the AC's games. However, I feel that this explanation is kinda lazy, right? Like, basically, it seems that they don't want to make a game big because they do not have so much creativity in them. Well, we're gonna see what it's going to be about, but definitely, hearing all those issues and problems within Ubisoft, this game gotta be good. So you could probably forget about the day before. Well, this game is a very mysterious one. A lot of people are calling it a scam, and basically there's a lot of hints and evidence that it actually is a scam. However, this month the developer will release a raw gameplay footage to give a clearer understanding of the game's current state of development. This footage is expected to showcase a majority of the features and gameplay elements requested by the community. The day before has become one of the most wishlist games on Steam and is second only to Hogwarts Legacy on the top wishlist chart. But still, it seems that the developers don't want to show things right off the bat and lean towards the approach of just being silent and incoherent with the fans.